So let's discuss app bars on Windows. Let's say we want to have a window that when we dock to one side, like this, if I have another window and I maximize it, I don't want it to overlap over the other window. So basically, I would like to create a sidebar on one side of the screen, and I want it to stay there. So on Windows, everything is a window. At least it used to be. For example, the taskbar itself is a window. And if I maximize another window, you can see the taskbar always has its own reserved space and it always stays there. So we want to use the same APIs and register our own window to behave as such. And that's called app bar on Windows. So we have an example here. Let's open the example. So app bar example.sln. And if I run this, so we kind of have a browser and we want it to act like a sidebar. So we want it to have like the choice of being docked to the left side of the screen, to the right side of the screen, to the top, or to the bottom. But the problem is, let's do left, for example. When I dock it to the left side or the right side, I mean, it's easy to do that. You just calculate the position based on the size of the screen, and you set your X and Y and width and height of your window to stick to one side of the screen. But the problem is now if I click on Visual Studio, it goes in front of the other window. And what we want to do is we want our own app to be sticky. So, for example, over here, if I click reserve space, this is the behavior we want to have. So if I maximize Visual Studio, my app should always be there. And this is exactly what the Windows taskbar does. To do that, it's very simple. You have to call one function in shell32.dll called SHAppBarMessage. And you use that to register your app as an app bar or deregister it. So it takes one parameter called DW-message and a struct, which is defined as such. And the values depend on what we want to do. So if I look up the specifications of this, you see over here, we have ABM new, which registers a new app bar, ABM remove, which unregisters it. So basically what we do over here is ABM remove, and this is ABM new. And query pause positions queries the position of the app bar. Set pause sets the size and the position, and so on. So the messages we want to deal with are ABM new, remove, query, and set pause. We also want to call get system metrics to get the size of the screen, and also move window from user 32 to move our window to the position we want. So to register, we we create an instance of the struct, and we pass our HWND of our window, and then we call SHAppBarMessage ABM new, and we pass our data. So basically, we use it to register our window handle as a new app bar to SHAppBarMessage. And to unregister, we do the same. So we send our HWND and we use the remove message. And to set position, first we can take the size of the screen. So if you have like multiple monitors, you actually have to check this on each monitor. And then we have the thickness of like how wide or tall we want our window to be. And if we want to stick to the left edge, X is 0, Y is 0, and then we have thickness and SH, which is the screen height. For top, we have 0, 0, and then screen width and thickness. For right, we want it to stick to screen width minus the window width, and then window width and height. And for the bottom, X is 0, Y is bottom of the screen minus thickness, width, and height. So that's how we position and resize our window. And then we send SHAppBarMessage set pos. And then that's how we reserve that space for our window. And then we move our window to that position. And if you look at the code for our form, so thickness for vertical and horizontal here are different. So we have a web view that's like the center of this window. And yeah, so basically doc left calls doc2 and it specifies the left edge. So we set form border style to none so that we don't get any title bar or anything. This is basically a borderless window. And thickness basically is the size of our window. Then we call set position. And to undock, we call unregister, and then we restore the window borders. So this is going to restore the title bar. And as we discussed, so move window, it basically moves the window to the center of the screen. You can download this code from GitHub, and it basically works with any C++ or any C# application. It doesn't matter what framework you use because it works on the window handle. And of course, it's Windows only.